Hello, everyone. Let's make sure that the audio is okay. Can you hear me okay? Just give a like or a thumbs up. Good, good, excellent. Hey, hi, Hope. How are you? Good to see you. Hi, Vanessa. We are back once again for our weekly wellness chat. Today, we're going to do a live Q&A. For those of you joining us for the first time, I'm Dr. Arjun Rayapudi, the co-creator of Gift of Health and general surgeon and lifestyle medicine doc. I share with my patient, I can treat you with my surgical knife or a chef's knife. You pick. Most of the time, the chef's knife works really well for many chronic surgical diseases. So here we are, like we're gathering to bust any myths about food and lifestyle, or also answer any questions you may have about food and lifestyle to improve your health, to prevent a disease, to lose weight, have more energy, and reverse, break away from lifestyle diseases. Hey, Michael, good to see you here. Hi, Flo. Hello, Sue. Hi, Pearl. Good, good. Bring on any questions you may have about food and lifestyle today. My lovely wife, Dr. Shobha Rayapudi, she is taking some rest. Last night, we were away for the weekend visiting our family in New Jersey. It was one of our nephew's graduation party. So we went for a family gathering, and it was nice to get back into what it used to be like pre-COVID time. Met with many nieces, nephews, cousins. It was a short trip, but it was a really good time. So we had a series of flight delays, and we didn't get home until like late last night. So it's been a busy, hectic day recovering from it. Good. So we are ready to take any questions. Here I have a question from Hope. I'm hearing that people with dementia should have MCT oil, but not have many carbs. Folks are recommending keto. Mom is mostly vegan and declining. What do you recommend her for her diet? Hope, if there is any one diet that has helped. Okay, let's look at this. You some of you might have heard this thing called the blue zones. Let me type in or give a like type it in if you have heard of blue zones. So blue zones are areas in the world where people typically commonly live up to 90s and 100s. So there are about 5 zones across the world. One is Okinawa, Japan. Then other one is Nicoya, Costa Rica. There is a place in Greece, and a place in Italy, and Loma Linda, California. So about 5 regions in the world where people commonly live up to 90s and 100s, and they are quite functional too. These people, like into 80s and 90s, they are quite functional. And what researchers found, what is common among these populations that live the longest, is that their diet is heavily plant-based. 90 to 95% of their diet is heavily relied upon plants, whole plant foods, sweet potatoes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, lots of vegetables, fruit. So this is their diet is heavily based on plants. These populations may have some animal foods, but these were mostly as a condiment, like less than 5 to 10% of the whole total calories coming from the animal-based foods. One other thing that was common for these people who are living into 80s, 90s, and 100s and have good brain function is this. These people were also very active, physically active. They were moving all day long. So one is uh, having a diet that is heavily plant-based, and then keep moving, like physical movement, being active, active lifestyle. Then the other aspect is to have good, healthy relationships, connections with the family and friends. This is also identified as one behavior which would promote your health and longevity and preserve the brain function. So it's the physical activity uh, and the plant-based lifestyle, having a purpose in life, like having a purpose to wake up, like what is life about, having that vision, having that, adding some meaning and purpose to life. That is also promotes the health, longevity, and preserves the brain function. And having these healthy, loving uh, connections. So these are some of the behavioral patterns that were identified among these blue zones, where people lived healthily um, into 80s, 90s, and 100. So this notion that people are recommending keto diet, if you look at uh, um, uh, there is a book by Dr. Neil Barnard. It's called Foods for the Brain. Uh, you can look it up, and he summarized the recommendations really well to preserve the brain health. And again, the one of the main recommendation is going for nutrient-rich plant-based foods like fruits and vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds. You can also look up, Hope, this book called 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution. This is by the dynamic duo Dr. Dean and Ayesha Sherzai. They also have a wonderful book on how to, these both are board certified neurologists and lifestyle medicine doctors who are helping people to slow down dementia, reverse um, chronic diseases, lifestyle diseases. So you should look it up. It's called 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution. That's but that also has like a lot of tips on preserving the brain function. I would not recommend going for any MCT oil. All oils, like, they're showing up to be increasing inflammation in the blood vessels, and oils are just extra calories that you have to burn. If you want to include like coconut in your diet, a little bit of fresh coconut is fine. If you want to use a little bit of dry whole coconut in some of your dishes, that's also fine. But there is no reason to take this processed MCT oil. It's 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution. Okay, so hope that answers your question. No keto, just go with the plant-based foods, whole foods. And, sometimes despite doing everything, like the exercise, doing exercise, increasing fruit and vegetable intake, and being active, having this purpose and meaning in life, and having these healthy relationships, despite that, um, that declining of the brain function can happen as you age. But just look upon these two resources, the Foods for the Brain and also this 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution. Especially the 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution, this book is by the board certified neurologists and lifestyle medicine docs. So I think that will put you in the right direction. Can you slow down degenerative disc disease? I have mild to moderate. Yes, the most of the time, the degenerative disc disease has a lot to do with the lifestyle. There are ways that you can slow down the degenerative disc disease, and some of the studies that have shown to help slow down the degenerative disc disease is one is yoga, doing a few asanas. These are yoga asanas, doing like stretching especially that involves the back and the hips and the knees, the upper back, the lower back, and the abdomen. Like when you do yogasanas, like stretching, that it has shown to slow down the degenerative disc disease, and increasing the intake of fruits and vegetables, whole grains and beans. It will also improve the blood supply to the discs. Because see, one of the thing is, when people are on a heavy meat-based diet, or high fat, high cheese, the dairy products and the oils and the processed foods and the meat-based diet, then you're more prone to back problems and the degenerative disc disease, because the blood supply that goes to these small discs, the degenerative discs. I'm sorry, to these intervertebral discs. These are the discs that are in between both vertebrae. There are tiny, tiny blood vessels that supply these the tissues, the discs which act as cushions between the vertebrae. These tiny blood vessels can get clogged if you're eating a high amount of processed foods and sugars and meats and dairy products. Because with all of this, the blood vessels get damaged. You have a higher propensity to form plaques, and it is that process is called atherosclerosis, which is hardening of the arteries, and it usually starts with the smaller blood vessels. Then it goes to the bigger blood vessels. So if you have any meat, dairy products, processed foods, you want to stay away from them, and increasing the intake of fruits, vegetables, especially green leafy vegetables, increase the blood supply. Especially they help in the regeneration of the endothelium, which is the lining of the blood vessels. So increasing the intake of green leafy vegetables, all kinds of different vegetables and fruits will help. Along with that, doing some asanas like yoga, stretching. Hi, Connie. So Flo has a question here. Been reading many benefits of black seed oil. Black cumin oil, okay. Is it good or just better to chow down on the cumin? The benefits of using these oils, you can get it directly when you take those like the cumin seeds. The black cumin has a lot of benefits in terms of decreasing inflammation, and also lowering, like normalizing your blood pressure. And um, also, there is one study that shows that taking a small amount of black cumin can also decrease the appetite and um, help you maintain a healthy weight. So just take the black cumin. No need to go for the oil, because when you go with the oil doesn't have the same amount of nutrient profile that the seeds would have, and oil also doesn't have any fiber. It's just pure liquid fat. Mike is asking, I took your good advice for the bowels and the bowels are working better. That's good. Is asking, I eat a lot of liver. Is it good for you, the body, as it gets older? Thanks. Mike, liver is not something that I would recommend. Liver of other animals, just, especially eating more amount of these organ meats has shown to increase more inflammation. There is more heme iron in the liver, which also increases inflammation. So just go with lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds. Just stay away from these organ meats. The more organ meats you go for, the more inflammation. They have more amount of protein, more amount of fat. The animal fat is inflammatory. From the animals, you get more arachidonic acid. And the more arachidonic acid you have, there are more prostaglandins, which increase inflammation. And research shows that the more intake of animal protein means that there is more inflammation, and also more risk of cell proliferation and increased risk of cancer. Yes, Rochelle. Dr. Greger has a video on black seed cumin, 1/4 teaspoon a day beneficial. Absolutely. Good, good. Excellent. Good, good. Yeah, keep the questions coming. And I had this question from Elizabeth. Elizabeth was asking, is barbecuing veggies harmful as well? It is so convenient to barbecue veggies. Well, when it comes to methods of cooking, uh, there is a, you can see that there is a link to the nutritionfacts.org. That's a very good resource and website. You can actually look up on this nutritionfacts.org. Dr. Greger did a video on which method of cooking is the healthiest when you're cooking vegetables. And it turns out steaming is the best way, or light cooking the vegetables is the best way to prepare them. Okay. So the best way to prepare the vegetables is either steaming or light cooking. Then is the next one is either stewing them or making soups out of them, because when you make a stew or a soup, any nutrients that are lost in cooking will go into that water that you're using to cook the vegetable. And you can since you're having that uh, that liquid that is coming from the vegetables in the soup or a stew, you don't lose much. You don't lose many nutrients in when you make a soup or a stew. Whereas when you do barbecue is like cooking at a higher heat, so there is more denaturation of the food elements in it. But still, it's better to eat those barbecued vegetables than not to avoid them. There is like barbecuing meat like chicken or fish or turkey or beef or pork has shown to increase the production of different kinds of toxic chemicals. These are called HCAs, like heterocyclic amines. But barbecuing vegetables has not shown any harmful effect on the health. So if you like barbecuing, that's fine, but don't make that the only way you eat the vegetables. So just combine that with some steaming the vegetables, making soups and stews and stir fries, and once in a while barbecuing is totally fine. We make barbecued veggies many times, especially if you go to the Gift of Health website. There is a recipe for vegetable kebabs that are made over the barbecue or the grill. They're delicious. Jackie's asking, signed up for the course but was hit with a lot of time in the past when my mom has been having heart issues that was hard to diagnose and is ongoing. Can I still follow up with the program as I've missed the date? Yes, Jackie, you can still follow up with the program. You can actually send an email to support@giftofhealth.org, and one of us or our assistant Vanessa will respond to you and keep you in the loop how to get the best out of the program. Hope your mom recovers soon, and if she's having heart disease, heart issues, plant-based eating, plant-based lifestyle can be a helpful complement to the care she might be receiving. Mary is asking, can a plant-based diet help a cartilage where bone on bone has been diagnosed? So, Mary, when a bone on bone has been diagnosed, that means cartilage, which is the little bit softer material that is in between the bones. It is damaged. So, what that means is the inflammation has happened for a long time, and the cartilage inflammation and excessive load bearing has damaged the cartilage. So if it is bone on bone, then it's going to be hard to 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 reverse that process. But how a plant-based diet can help with someone with that kind of situation is research has shown, like if people who have osteoarthritis, which is inflammation of the joints, if they lose excess body fat or body weight, it uh, there are studies to show that you could avoid um, having surgery for osteoarthritis of the joints. So switching to a plant-based diet can help with the weight loss and decreasing inflammation. So that may help you to deal with osteoarthritis. But reversing and regrowing the cartilage, I haven't come across anything like that. But one thing is, it wouldn't hurt, like trying a plant-based diet, especially a diet that is rich in whole foods. It's not just plant-based. It's very important, guys. Like it's not just being plant-based, but keeping it whole, staying away from the processed foods is extremely important. And if you're tackling with inflammation, then especially having more greens, more flax seeds, chia seeds, more raw vegetables will help, and staying away from the processed foods will help as well. Okay, Bonnie is asking, for post-exercise muscle soreness, would you recommend a pure pea protein after exercise in a green smoothie with a lot of kale and spinach and some fruit? Hey, Bonnie, good to hear from you. For post-muscle soreness, see, it's normal for our muscles to have a little bit of soreness after exercise. So for a faster recovery from that, a plant-based diet can certainly help. Having smoothies is a great way to get some greens, some fruit and some almond milk or soy milk, or even water. Chia seeds, flax seeds can help in that smoothie. But there is no reason to take this pure pea protein. Isolated proteins, plant proteins like soy protein, isolated proteins, they don't have the same benefit as eating the whole food. Just eat more peas, more beans, more chickpeas in your diet to decrease the inflammation. But there is no these pure isolated proteins. There is research showing that isolated proteins may be harmful, especially the isolated soy protein may be as harmful as the animal protein. When you isolate pea protein from the peas, you're losing all the fiber, you're losing all the antioxidants, you're losing all the phytochemicals, and you're just taking this protein. It is better to get the protein from the whole foods. Save your money, Bonnie. I work out almost every day. Like, in fact, just before we started this session, I was on a treadmill for about 75 minutes in my basement, and I was walking and jogging and watching a movie while I was doing that. I finished that, and then I took a quick shower, freshened up, and then came to do this live Q&A. And I'm actually, before we started, I was munching on some blueberries. This is my post-workout snack. So just get some fruits and vegetables and smoothies. Like, sometimes I didn't have time to make a smoothie. Sometimes I put like some spinach or kale, blueberries, frozen. It doesn't have to be fresh. You can use frozen as well. Frozen berries are good as fresh berries. And I put some banana, flax seeds, chia seeds, and you can make a delicious smoothie. And that's a good post-workout recovery drink without putting any pea protein or plant proteins. Like, I don't use any protein supplements. I do have a trainer. Actually, I have two trainers that I work with. One is has won like several competitions in the men's physique or fitness thing. In fact, that was I interviewed him on one of the Gift of Health weekly wellness chats. That was with trainer Forrest Nash. You can go to Gift of Health YouTube channel, and you can find that interview that I did with Forrest Nash. And there are many tips that he gave about recovering from workouts and how to make exercise as a habit. Hope that helps. Good. Like Sadie is asking, what do you recommend to help with diverticulitis? They tell me anything with seed is not good. That is not true, Sadie. Uh, if you have diverticulitis or okay, what are these diverticuli? Diverticuli are small pouches or pockets that form on the colon wall. It happens in people who haven't had enough fiber in their diet for a long time, or if the diet was heavily based on meats and dairy products. If you're eating a standard Newfoundland diet or standard Canadian diet, then you're more prone to have these diverticuli on your bowel. And sometimes these diverticuli can rupture and can get inflamed. When that happens, we call that diverticulitis. So people with diverticuli, you can eat seeds. It's not a problem. There are studies showing that eating seeds is actually beneficial for people who have diverticuli. It's the more fiber you eat, the better. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. Taking flax seeds, chia seed, hemp seeds along with others is fine. What you want to avoid if you have diverticulosis or diverticulitis is the meats. The more meats, dairy products, and processed foods you eat, the more flare-ups of diverticulitis you'll notice. Okay, Mike is asking, Dr. Arjun, you're saying to eat beans, but how do you advise how to cook? You mean canned beans? Well, Mike, there are many ways you can cook beans. And our favorite way is actually cooking with the Instant Pot. Instant Pot is catch me up. It's one gadget we highly recommend. You can in that you take some dry beans, and actually you can soak the beans overnight. Sometimes we just take 2 cups of dry beans and soak them overnight. It takes like a minute to take these 2 cups of beans and pour water, just a minute, literally, and leave them on the kitchen counter. Next day morning, I put them in the Instant Pot. Like again, I just rinse those beans and put them in the Instant Pot and put some water and press one button, like pressure cook for about 15 to 20 minutes, and the beans are done. The good thing about these, like when you cook the beans by yourself, it's so the texture is nice. You can cook to the texture you want. Sometimes some dishes call for softer texture. Sometimes you want like a more firmer texture. So the texture is nice. You compared to canned beans, this is cheaper. Like you can actually get 3 times more quantity when you cook your own beans for the same amount than the canned beans. So there's a cheaper. Canned beans typically have a lot of salt and preservatives. So you're not getting any preservatives and salt. Cheaper, and the texture is nice. And when you cook them by yourself and chew them well, like you also have like less gas formation as well. So you can also cook these beans over the stove top, but they take longer time to cook. Agneta is asking, hi Arjun, as a young child I was constipated. Throughout my life I focused on eating vegetables and fruit, and I drink a lot of water. Now I have type 4, 5 and 6. Can you eat too much vegetables? Should I worry about anything or do anything differently? Well, the type 4 is where for those of you who are not familiar what these types are, there is something called Bristol stool chart. The researchers at University of Bristol, they actually studied poop samples, the samples of stool, and they, depending upon the consistency and the size of the stools, they classified the stools into type 1, where they are like just a rabbit pellets. Type 2 is like a thick, hard, like stool, but it is not soft. Whereas type 3 is like a sausage, but it is a bit hard, and type 4 is more smooth and soft, and it's like a nice like snake. Type 5 is where the stool is more softer, Type 6 is like mushy, and type 7 is runny, watery. You can look up a Bristol stool chart, and this comes up. The different types, you can learn from it. It's a great way to teach your kids about poop. You can just ask them, what type did you have? And we used to do this with our son when he was since he was 8 or 9 year old, and he could recognize what type of poop he had. So type 3 or 4 is the better one, with type 4 being the best. So Agneta, like if you're having type 4, that's good. So type 5 and type 6, maybe your gut is reacting to some of the foods that you eat. You may want to mix and match, try to adjust the foods that you're eating, and see if your body is reacting to some of the foods. And also adjust the amount of water intake, and see that might help. Should you worry about anything or do anything? If you are in that age group, if you're a 50 and above, it's important that you see your family doctor and discuss with your family doctor. It is recommended standard, especially in Newfoundland, to have a stool test. It's called a FIT test. So you can talk to your family doctor about it, or if your symptoms are too much, you can even have a colonoscopy, just to make sure that there is nothing major going on. Because like sometimes these there could be inflammation of the bowel, or something else may be going on in the bowel. We want to exclude those things, especially if you're having diarrhea. Like type 6 stool is like diarrhea. When you're having diarrhea, make these changes in the food. And if it's still not helping, then it's important to discuss with your family doctor and get a referral to see either a gastroenterologist or a surgeon to have a scope, or get the stool test done. And if that is positive, then you can go from there. Have a discussion with your family doctor. That is my most important advice, I would say. Jackie is asking, is cashew milk good? You like it the best? Well, Jackie, see, whether it is cashew milk or almond milk, those milks don't have much cashews or much almonds. They just use they just use a little bit of cashew paste and add water to it, and they make the cashew milk using that cashew pulp, or mixed with water. If you're using small amounts of it, it's fine. But either cashew milk or soy milk or almond milk, it's not something that we recommend drinking it by glass or by bottle. It's just using it in your oatmeal, or if you make some desserts, like using a small amount of milk, that's fine. Well, that's what I was saying, Agneta. Like, rather than drinking soy milk, there is no reason to drink soy milk by glass. But if you want to use a little bit of soy milk in your dishes, like oatmeal or something, pancakes or whatever you make, that's fine. Because there is no nutritional need for any milk, any kind of milk, even plant-based milk, after 5 or 6 months of our life. But we are going for this plant-based milks because they are a healthier alternative to cow's milk. Hope is asking, what do you put in what do we put in our smoothie with our fruit? We make different kinds of smoothies, Hope. We put some greens, like either kale or spinach, and then add some berries, either frozen berries, strawberries or blueberries, or some, if we have fresh berries, we put some berries, put an apple or a pear, and add some flax seeds or chia seeds, and add either soy milk, or sometimes we add a little bit of water and a little bit of soy milk, or sometimes we make it with just water. So either almond milk or soy milk or just water. Different combinations we have tried, and we like, when you add fruits, different kinds of fruits, different kinds of greens, and different kinds of liquids, it just mixes and matches every day. Um, and I make smoothies. It comes differently, and Shobha makes smoothies. It comes differently. We just mix and match some flax seeds, chia seeds, um, kale or spinach, some berries, and some fruit, and different kinds of liquids, either soy milk or almond milk or just water. Okay, can you get your calcium by using almond milk? One cup milk has 430 grams of calcium. 430. Yes, you can use a plant when you can get some calcium from plant-based milks. But the best way to get calcium is to eat more beans and lentils, and more greens, more vegetables. Um, yes, plant-based milks have some calcium. Tofu has some calcium, but beans, greens, and seeds, nuts and seeds, these are good source of calcium. How much calcium should you get in a day? It depends a lot on uh, what like stage of life you're in. We would recommend anywhere from 600 to 800 milligrams of calcium, and that's you can easily get that by eating different grains like oats, uh, and different beans and lentils, fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, adding some soy milk or almond milk. It's very easy to get that. We have tracked our calcium intake many times in the chronometer, and it's very easy to get that 600 to 18 milligrams of calcium. Like if you look at recommendations from different authorities, you'll see that Western authorities, medical associations, usually they recommend for a higher intake of calcium, almost 1,000 milligrams or 1,200 milligrams. But WHO's recommendation is about 4 to 500 milligrams a day, and we are being like in between. About 600 to 800 milligrams of calcium would be more than enough. What is more important is having uh, like if you want strong bones, uh, exercising, being active, exposing yourself to getting some vitamin D, and also minimizing the intake of salt, and minimizing intake of animal protein, because the more protein you eat, animal protein especially, the more animal protein you eat, the more calcium you end up losing in your urine, because uh, the animal protein um, makes the body more acidic, and in order to maintain the neutral pH, the body uh, the body takes some calcium phosphate from the bones, and with that the bones get weaker, and that calcium is lost in the urine. So research shows that the more animal protein one takes, then more excretion of calcium in the urine. So stay away from the animal protein, limit intake of salt, exercise, exposure in the sun, lots of greens, lots of beans, and whole foods that are plant based. You'll have strong bones. Okay, Mary is asking, any suggestions for nutrition or drinks while on long bike rides or runs? Uh, so, like, if you hydrate well, um, anything that like about if your run is 1 hour or less, you don't need a whole lot of drinks to go on. Like maybe a small amount of water in between can do. If you hydrate yourself well, and maybe hydration a little bit in the middle might do it. But if you are running, I'm sharing this from my personal experience. I've done quite a bit of research on it. I've run a couple of marathons in the past, Anytime you're going for training runs or long bike rides that take longer than an hour, you really need to plan your nutrition and drinks. What I used to do for nutrition was like make my own trail mix. I used to mix up some raisins and some pumpkin seeds and some peanuts, or chop up some dates and then take them with me. If I have cashews or almonds, add them. So there is a good combination of carbohydrates like raisins and dates, and then there is a good amount of fat and protein from the nuts and seeds. So that will give you a balanced nutrition. And sometimes if you need like a fast amount of a rapid amount of glucose, like a banana or two can help. So bananas are great for nutrition, and making your own trail mix is great. Um, then for hydration, just water will work if you're doing an hour of hour of like activity. But if you're running or bike rides are going then for an hour, then you need to get some electrolytes, especially if you're going for like 3 hour 4 hour long runs or long bike rides. It's important that you add just even to water, adding a pinch of salt and a spoon or two of sugar can give you a little bit of glucose and a little bit of like sodium, like you'll get some electrolytes to keep you going. I mean, there are some uh, drinks that you can use, like that are supplemented with electrolytes. Just make sure that you're not taking in too much excess chemicals when you're going for those kind of drinks, because some of those drinks have additives in it and added colors in it. So that's something that you want to watch out for. Okay, Sadie is asking, plant-based is definitely the way to go. Takes some time getting used to, but it's the best. I'm not where I want to be, but getting there. Fruits and veggies smoothie, I love. Lots of water, mix and match is right. I have to leave, but certainly will watch this again. Excellent, Sadie. Like, yeah, you can certainly catch up with the replay. Lorraine is asking, what is the best diet for kidney disease? Lorraine, we actually interviewed uh, one lifestyle medicine nephrologist in the past. You can like go to Gift of Health YouTube channel, and we can share it in this comments. Like there is, we interviewed a nephrologist, a kidney specialist, about what is how to preserve the kidney function and what is the best diet for kidney disease. Check it out. Undoubtedly, the best diet, yeah, there you have it in the links. Like it's called, we interviewed Dr. Karanam. It's you can find it on the Facebook page. You can also find it in the YouTube channel. So undoubtedly the best diet for kidney disease is the diet that has the most anti-inflammatory effect, which is more fruits, more vegetables, more whole grains, more beans, nuts and seeds. The more animal protein you take, the more damage to the kidneys. So it's very important that you limit the intake of animal protein if you want to preserve the function of your kidneys, preserve the function of your liver. Yeah, it's just amazing, like how well you can protect your kidneys if you're on a plant-based diet. We have had the students in our Gift of Health Food as Medicine program who were told that they may need to go on dialysis in like next 3 to 6 months. But once they did the program and the course, their EGFR, which is the measure of the kidney function, their glomerular filtration rate, it actually improved on the blood in the blood work, and they did not end up needing dialysis for several years. Some of them never needed it. Some of them delayed the dialysis by almost like a half a decade, whereas a doctor told them that they need to go for dialysis within few weeks. Rochelle is sharing a comment. Dr. Ettinger is a great plant-based doctor. He did a kidney health webinar and he goes by Dr. Herbivore. Yeah, you can check it out. Thanks for sharing that, Rochelle. Good, good. You guys are on a roll. Like today, I think we ordered. I'm sorry, we answered the most number of questions in this short period of time. So we have lots of resources for you, like checking out Gift of Health website, Giftofhealth.org, and Gift of Health Total Wellness Group. Join in that group and share if you're looking for any ideas and recipes. That's a good place to be. And follow us on YouTube, the Gift of Health YouTube and Instagram. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, share it with your friends and family that this is happening. We want to bring Gift of Health to millions of people. That's our mission for the next 2 decades. We are in this for the long haul. We are quite busy. I'm quite busy with my surgery work, but at the same time, we try to balance the Gift of Health activities where we're teaching food and lifestyle as medicine, because the clinical medicine is a reactive medicine, but when we take a proactive approach, when we take a you can when you take a proactive approach, you can actually prevent the disease in its tracks, and you may even have a good chance of reversing many lifestyle diseases. Okay, so there is a question Jack is asking. Jack is asking, I'm currently menopausal. I always had soft skin, but now my feet especially are dry to the point of cracking. Like, is there anything I can add to my diet, or is it more serious problem? Well, one thing that we have noticed that people benefiting in terms of going through menopause is like switching to more and more whole foods that are plant-based, more fruits, more vegetables, especially water-rich vegetables. Um, like water-rich vegetables like cucumber, watermelon. Watermelon is a fruit. I'm talking about the vegetables that have more water, like beets and carrots and turnip, celery, all greens, fruits like melons and berries, which have a lot of water. If you eat them, then it decreases inflammation. It also lowers your estrogen levels naturally. Um, and on the other hand, when you stay away from the meats, dairy products like butter, cheese, chicken, meats, and processed foods, it also brings your estrogen levels to more of a normal level. When your estrogen levels are more to an optimal level, you go through menopause more gracefully compared to when you are on an animal based diet or a processed food diet and you're not getting enough fruits and vegetables. Your estrogen levels are way too high. When your levels are high, then you have severe menopausal symptoms. And that increasing the intake of fruits and vegetables, more soups and stews, they may even help with the dry skin as well. But if this is a serious problem, if it is bothering you a lot, get it checked. Definitely get checked out by your family doctor. Make sure that you're not dealing with you're not having a skin condition that needs attention. Dr. May is saying good sessions, simple and solid recommendations. Thank you, Dr. May. Coming from you, it means a lot. Thank you. Good. We'll take one or two more questions. Hope you're so welcome. We are so grateful that you are inspired by this time. And that's why we do these sessions, to empower you. And it's quite amazing and rewarding, isn't it? Like when you spend some time to take care of yourself and your body thanks you and you feel better about yourself. Rochelle is asking, how can you lower uric acid? I thought when going plant based, no more gout attacks. Spinach has caused me some terrible flares, so I stay away from it. My father had bad gout. Uric acid is between 6.8 to 7.2. I eat a lot of beans, which I know are high in uric acid. Um, so, uric acid, one resource that I highly recommend is check out nutritionfacts.org. Dr. Greger has made some good videos on how to lower uric acid naturally. And one of the best way to lower uric acid naturally is to lower the intake of meat. Meat and other sources of animal protein, when they get broken down, they release uric acid. So my number one recommendation for avoiding gout flare-ups is to switch to a whole food plant-based diet. The thing is, research actually shows that um, when you switch to plant-based foods like beans and lentils, nuts and seeds, research is actually showing that um, you are better off than eating protein from the animal-based foods in terms of reducing the flare-up of the gout and also decreasing the attacks of and decreasing the uric acid levels. But do check out the videos on nutritionfacts.org. I think Dr. Greger has had even more specific advice, I would say. Sean is saying, if you only have plant-based foods and ingredients in your home, and you'll be setting yourself up for success. That is so true. The best way to set up yourself for success is actually sanitize your environment, get unhealthy foods out of your shopping cart. Don't put them in the shopping cart. Clean your cupboards, like get rid of those the tubs of ice cream, that frozen, dead, decaying, rotten meat. Get it out of the freezers. Just give it away. Don't buy any processed junk. Don't bring it into the food. Treat your body like a temple. It's the place where you live. Your body is the place where you live for this life, and treat it like you really care about it. Don't put any garbage and junk. Um, so it will help you quite a bit. Like when you sanitize your environment, when you set up your environment for success, then you don't have to fight too much. But if in your environment you have all these unhealthy junk foods and you keep buying them, it's like, the food will get the best out of you most of the time. So just don't put these unhealthy foods in your environment until you have built up that resilience and willpower and centeredness and stability within yourself. Dr. Mayappan is asking, please resend the workout by Australian Chap. That's the video by Forrest Nash. We will put it in the comments, Dr. May. Good, folks. We're going to wrap this up. I really enjoyed hanging out with you and answering all your questions. Keep them coming. Any questions you have, we are here for you. If you need more support and more personalized coaching, it's visit our website, and we'll love to work with you either one-on-one or in a group program, the Gift of Health Food as Medicine program, which has empowered people to break free from lifestyle diseases and break free from drugs and get freedom from lifestyle diseases such as high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, acid reflux, arthritis. This is possible for you. So we invite you when we check out our next Gift of Health 6-week program, Food as Medicine course. It will be happening in September. we invite each one of you to join and share it with your friends and family. We'll see you next week with another exciting live session. Until then, adios. Bye, everyone.